Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to FTA's second conference assessing the consequences of Brexit for European logistics and supply chains. You're all very welcome to 1 Great George Street, the home of the Institution of Civil Engineers, and I'm looking forward to chairing the morning part of your session and getting us through to lunchtime. My name is James Hookham. I am FTA's Deputy Chief Executive, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you here today. Our purpose is to assess the readiness of businesses who own or operate the UK's European supply chains and assess their readiness and their preparatory plans for Brexit as and when it comes. And of course, one of the great challenges is we're not quite certain yet when that moment may come and exactly what it might entail. We have assembled a collection of speakers that we hope will help to inform us on the very latest situations and developments on that particular story. And can I say right away how delighted we are that we're joined this morning by Robin Walker MP, who's Minister for Leaving the European Union, and he will be addressing us as the keynote speaker in just a few moments' time. Let me just cover off a few important notices first, though. First of all, we're not expecting any fire alarms, so if the alarms do sound, we will need to leave this wonderful building. And I just need to point out to you that the fire exits are not the door through which you entered. There are 2 exits at the back and 1 at the front here to the left. So if the fire alarms do go, please do move to the left and to the back. Don't go back down the main stairs. Those are direct exits out onto the street. And the good news is that if there is a fire alarm, we need to assemble outside the Westminster Arms pub. Yes, I'm serious, which is around the corner on the way back towards Westminster Abbey. So I'm sure you won't forget that particular instruction. So our programme today is taking place in the middle of the World Cup, of course. And so fittingly, the programme is going to be a game of 2 halves. I shall be chairing the sessions this morning where we will be assessing businesses and governments' readiness for Brexit through a UK lens and hearing perspectives clearly from our own government, but also from businesses that are operationally based and looking at the problem from a UK perspective. In the afternoon, I shall hand over to my colleague and Head of European Policy, Pauline Basildon, who through her networks on the continent and in Ireland, I think has assembled a quite unique and very special group of experts and individuals, I think exceptionally will illuminate and think about this problem, not from a UK, but from a continental and Irish perspective, which is a dimension which is not always available to us sitting in the UK. I'd like to thank straight away our primary sponsor for the day, to the Port of Dover, for their fairly obvious and very clear stake in this whole debate, but we are very grateful for the support that they have given us in being our sponsor for today. And I also wish to acknowledge the involvement and support from Multimodal, the conference and exhibition organiser, who are with us again today. Now, in a moment, I'm going to introduce our President, FTA President, Mr. Lee Pomlett, who will formally open the proceedings, and he in turn will hand over to the Minister. But before we do that, we would just like to ask you, our delegates, to share your thoughts and feelings with us at the beginning of the day using the keypad that was handed to you as you came into the room. So I think you know where this is going. We're going to ask you a series of questions, of which there are some numbered possible responses, and in the 10 seconds available for each question, we just need you to click once on the number that is appropriate for the answer that you wish to give. So I think we're all following this, aren't we? So we could have the first question, please. We'll see how this goes. So, what are you planning for? Are you planning for a hard Brexit with a transition until 2020? A soft Brexit with a transition until 2020? Do you know the difference between hard and soft Brexit? Possibly a no-deal exit in March 2019 with no transition at all? Are you planning for all of the above? Or have you not even started yet? Please be honest, please be fair, and please be quick. You have 10 seconds, please. Just click the number that's appropriate to the answer you wish to give. And by the magic of technology, there we are. So nearly half of you must be very busy. Go on, people, take a break, get home at weekends, because the majority of you are planning for all of the above, and perhaps reassuringly, or not, depending on how the day goes, the smallest number of you planning for the no-deal scenario in March 2019. Okay, thank you for that. Next question, please. So, in all that planning that a lot of you are doing, what's the most pressing challenge for your company? A potential lack of permits for cross-border movements of trucks, the rules of origin requirements, the new customs obligations that we will be required to complete, the phytosanitary and sanitary checks at the borders on food and drink, VAT arrangements, employment status of EU workers, or none of the above, presumably some other challenge that you're facing. So same rules, please press the key number that appropriate to the answer you wish to give in 10 seconds, please. Thank you, and the answer is, wow, okay. So, I think you're in the right place to learn about customs obligations. Interesting, the spread of answers on the others there. I'm a little surprised that how status of EU workers is relatively low on your radar, but that might just reflect the responsibilities of you here today. Thank you for that. And finally, on a positive side, and we don't often hear much about the opportunities and the scope for new business arising from Brexit, but it's undoubtedly there if and when it's delivered. So provision of customs support services to the industry, which look as if they're going to be needed. Are you pursuing potential new import and export markets? Provision of new transport services, regulatory simplification because we've taken back control, or none of the above? 10 seconds, please. Thank you. Wow, okay. So potential provision of support by way of customs and border procedures. Now, we've clearly not really thought through all the potential opportunities here, so maybe in the discussion sessions we can pick up on what those other potentials are. Or, of course, none of you may yet see any opportunities from Brexit. Maybe you can develop that in the discussion sessions a little bit later on. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's very helpful for FTA to help understanding the mood in the room and certainly helps the chairman think through where he might take some of the questions a little bit later on.